Down, 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 looting the university, down, down. Yo, that the Mapaya is a criminal. Yo.
Comrades, compeers and compadres, sons and daughters of the proletarian, men and women of the University of Liberia. Today, we have a Samo year of a Sanko Sam mandate by the chairman of the Central Committee, the chairman of the Politburo, concomitant the General Congress of the 33rd leadership of the Student Unification Party.
Yo, you powerful man, yo.
To address the media on cross sections of national issues. The address will be in twofold. We will basically be discussing the issues confronting students at the University of Liberia, the government total neglect, administrative prostitution, political destitution towards the University of Liberia. The misshape and misapplied logic by the imported bureaucrats that was presented here by the government of Joseph Boyka, for misinformed administrative practices, for knee-jerk and dictatorial posture about issues confronting for administrative practices and workings on the university space. Today is to inform Liberians that the quote-unquote American twin expert is a tragic embarrassment and an abominable abomination.
Reactionary tendency. Lily Mapaya. Yo, start looting the university. Yo.
The leadership of Lily Mapaya is on a slow scheme of a Facebook survey and a ghetto gimmick card of administration. She has reduced the university environment to nothing. She has rendered administrative functions and dealings here in an unsophisticated way. On her watch, the image and reputations of the university is not improving. When she sat before the board of trustees ongoing her top interview based on the vetting and selection process, there were a lot of promises that was made by Lilies Mapaya. One could be the act that she was going to internationally lobby in making sure that the university is an international acclaimed and recognized institution.
We are seeing nothing, yo.
The fact that she was going to back down on financial malpractices and public works. The fact that she was going to initiate efforts.
Reactionary tendency. Promises. Oh, absolutely nothing has been made. Yo.
The fact that she was also going to make sure the university environment is hygienic and the university campuses are renovated. Mapaya, like ordinary Liberian politician, paraded a vetting process with deception, falsehood, and lies. And not only that, upon her appointment as president of the University of Liberia, these imported bureaucrats made a lot of promises when she promised the faculty and staff association precisely the John Starver that she was going to work on the salary disparities and to make sure that lecturers paid are on time. She also said to students she was going to make sure the availability of buses on the university campus to commute students to and fro. Today, The university is still the same. The environment is still as in a drunken stage as it was like before. Like I said a couple of days ago, the university will be no surprise to those that drinking rubber if we will walk through the perimeter of the university today. But today we are not the official spokesperson of this regular press briefing. This regular press briefing will be led by the Politburo, basically the Secretary General of the Student Unification Party, whose responsibility is to control and organize the day-to-day affairs and workings of our institution. But before we recognize or bring on stage the Secretary General of our party, let us welcome in presence here the Veteran Affairs of the Student Unification Party, the President of Central Committee member Blaine Nangbe. You have my salute. Let us also recognize the Deputy Speaker of the Union Building of the University of Liberia. Let's also recognize
Rescue mission, field mission, rescue mission,
Field mission.
rescue mission,
Field mission.
rescue mission.
Field mission.
Let's also recognize the co-chair for governmental affairs, the man who is the Vanguard Party diplomatic arm between the University of Liberia, the government of Liberia, the SUP and the Revolutionary Vanguard Student Unification Party.
We actually Tennessee. We actually Tennessee. That's my problem. That's my problem. That's causing problem. Yo, she running the university on Facebook. Yo. Sponsor, she take over. She not do nothing here. Yo.
Let us say this as we draft our height, because in the presence of the Secretary General, we are an intellectual nobody. Our intellectual muscles cannot be compared to the man who clothed with the responsibilities of dotting the I, crossing the T, and crippling the Z of the Student Unification Party releases. So on this backdrop, Congress, we want to draft our intellectual muscles to provide the most informed, the most energetic, the most intellectual. Today's press briefing will be fact-focused analysis and fact-driven, because the Student Unification Party has reached the stage that we cannot continue negotiating with the imported bureaucrat on the university campus. This international waste product, a complete national calamity and disaster to the educational space on the University of Liberia, will be confronted, and it is in the purview of the Secretary General to give the chairman mandate.
Manda.
Before I proceed, comrade journalists, ideological progressive journalists, the masses of the Liberian people, I would like to acknowledge the most powerful man on the campuses of the University of Liberia, who has designated us the task to re-emphasize and reposition the situations and contradictions on the campuses of the University of Liberia, and display why Mapanya has no interest in the students and how Mapanya has failed to manage the University of Liberia. Comrade Adilo, Comrade Kadre, Chairman Sylvester Wheeler, you have our revolutionary salute.
Yo, Shakali, yo, Manitara, yo,
Manda,
where do,
Manda,
where do,
Manda,
where do,
Manda,
where do,
Viva, 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 Viva. Think about the Viva.
Viva.
You also recognize distinguished members of the Central Committee and Politburo, General Congress of the Vanguard Student Unification Party. As we are about to provide the clear position of the Student Unification Party, we want to make this clear, comrade and progressive journalists. Over the time, the party has been involved in numerous of engagement. We have issued a higher press releases than any other institution in this country, especially on the question of the existing conditions on the campuses of the University of Liberia. We have had the opportunity to meet with stakeholders, informing them of the situation confronting the students, faculties, and staff of the University of Liberia. But based on all of our engagement, we have come to a clear conclusion to expose the current president of the University of Liberia, to display how she has a very limited approach in addressing the situation that affecting the students. And basically, we want to address key points. This is very serious, comrade journalists. Since the inception of Madam President Dr. Lady Mapaya, January 10, 2025, there has not been an imprint of any improvement or concrete improvement on the campuses of the University of Liberia. This is not just a position of failure, but it's a betrayal of the trust of the students and the trust of the Liberian people. If you can recall, when Mapaya was appointed by the president, the Vanguard Student Vacation Party issued a statement informing the public that we officially welcome the appointment of Dr. Mapaya. And many people have been asking, in the midst of many contradictions, SUP have been silent on Mapaya. Oh yes, we understood that Mapaya is from a different civilization, taking into consideration the social, political, and cultural complexities on the campuses of the University of Liberia. We needed to give her time to understand the essence of being a president of the University of Liberia. But unfortunately, we have been disappointed. We have been disappointed of the proceeding of Mapaya, and she has proven contrary to the expectation of the students and the masses.
Reaction intéressé. Ente madame. Oh, no problem material. Yo.
On the issue of infrastructure, we need not to tell you over the time the chairman of the Student Vacation Party was parading the various campuses, showing the dilapidated environment. Even right now, if you point your camera to the CBAV, it's more like a chicken portrait. For how long will we keep informing the government? How long Mapaya will realize that this is a priority? But there has not been any improvement. Last semester, we managed to run the whole semester without any bus on the final campus of the University of Liberia. And we want to say that on behalf of the 33rd Central Committee and Politburo of the Vanguard Vacation Party. So, this coming semester, if we cannot see any bus at the final campus, Mapaya must decide to step down as president of the University of Liberia. We are clear about this. All the necessary engagement, and we believe Mapaya has reached what we call the epicenter of non-negotiation, because we reached out to her with written communication, informing her of the situation. So we deal with the issue of infrastructure. Of course, we need not to tell you, the university is deplorable, the campuses of the University of Liberia are very dated, and everywhere you go, people are disappointed and people are so frustrated on the leadership of Mapaya. The infrastructure of the University of Liberia, of course, Mapaya has failed after 7 months. Nothing you can tell the Student Vacation Party and the rest of the students. Mapaya has failed 7 months of her role as president of the University of Liberia, and there is a clear fact. And secondly, we want to deal with the issue of the schedule of academic semester. We have been clear with Mapaya, and there are a lot of questions she refused to answer. We had a vacation school. Oh yes, we embraced the vacation school in at addressing some of the issue of limit. Vacation school was quite restricted. That if you are undergraduate student, you have to carry not more than 9 credit hours or 3 courses. If you are a graduate or a professional school, you have 2 courses to carry as a limitation. Lots of students didn't have the opportunity to enroll because of this nature. But fortunately, Mapaya is telling us that the coming semester is a first semester after we are already done with first semester. We say, if you want to consider this as part of your regularization of academic semester, what we call track semesters, you have refused to answer the question of if the first semester will be provided for first and second semester courses. If so, if the university, we ask Mapaya, is the university capacitated to accommodate courses for first and second semester, she has yet to answer the question. And yet you are telling us that the coming semester is the first semester. There's a serious contradiction. My plan on regular racks our semester and ensure that we have our full second semester without any restriction, so that students can be freely plan their courses and go to their classes. Anything short of that.
Bien sûr,
the question of iron drop has been a major issue from last semester. We engaged Mapaya in open conversation. We met her privately, informing her these are concerning issues on the campuses of the University of Liberia. Students who registered their courses, some of them were dropped from the portal. And you told them to write a name on piece of paper and send to that department. Up to now, there is not any update of that. We are informing Mapaya. We have a meeting with her and we told her, Mapaya, you need to restore the R button. And she insisted that she can never restore the R button. She challenged the Vanguard Verification Party. We again met her. Say, what is the alternative? And she told her that all students should submit their names to the various department and it will be added to the portal. Up to now, there is no account.
Oh, I am here to receive a grade. Yo. Since I have been in the Pakistan school. Yo. C'est ma pain. C'est ma problème. Yo. 7 months of nothingness. Yo.
They will struggle.
Wait for 7 months. Yo.
They will struggle to erode first semester. Until now, they are frustrated. They cannot guarantee anything of enrollment. We see that as a failure on the part of Mapaya. This time around, we are not begging her. We are meditating her for the angle of the chairman of the Student Education Party. So, that you show that you address the iron drop issue immediately. Or you step down as president of the University of Liberia. There's a clear mandate. And we want to mention illegal dismissal. This is very key common journalists and the mass of the Liberian people. There are a lot of people being held in Mapaya for her Facebook purporting, for gaining popularity on Facebook and consistently using Facebook to run a university.
Bring out the narrative. Bring out the narrative. That's out of my problem.
So, has been very opposed to academic fraud. If you've been following the history of the party, in fact, the doctrines of the party is rooted in social justice, academic freedom, and peace. And that is why, if we see academic fraud, we expose it and ensure that the necessary checkpoints be erected. In as much we are engaged in ensuring that those who are engaged in academic fraud can be exposed, we will not say here that people be dismissed unjustly by Mapaya based on selfish naked interests. In this we are clear. After following and evaluating the position of Mapaya in April, as you can remember, Mapaya dismissed 8 employees of the University of Liberia and suspended 1 being linked to the dog couple incident. If you think the Vanguard Party is not concerned about the dog couple incident, she follow the Ministry of Commerce. Many times the Vanguard Education Party is someone to ensure that dog couple be dismissed for tarnishing the image of the University of Liberia, for ridiculing the image of the University of Liberia. And up to now, Mapaya, instead of having a very clear, objective position, she has used the situation of Dorkoba to waste on specific staff of the University of Liberia. You saw the party demanding the report that informed a decision to dismiss 8 employees of the University of Liberia. Alone, anyone is linked to academic fraud, the party support the immediate dismissal. But those rapid perpetrators must be dismissed, should not be used for wage hunt. And we follow the report. We've been demanding for the report. And we're interested to know that up to now, Mapaya has refused to make available the report that informed a decision to dismiss staff. If you can recall, the interim president has set up a committee that was headed by Dr. Morris. And that committee came out with its findings, and the finding was discarded because after following personal investigation, they realized that the finding, when she received the recommendation of the committee that was set up, headed by Dr. Kula Tonsi, she immediately acted upon the recommendation without doing any fast check. But these are the contradictions we are about to expose to the press. When Mapaya dismissed the F-Star, Lawrence Situa, Cedric Kepia, Ramsey Darinami, and Jaliba for the while suspending Aaron Sembe for 3 months. That was the recommendation of the report.
Viva! Viva, viva!
Recommendation. If you can adhere to the recommendation of the so-called committee that was set up, why will you dismiss someone also the recommendation of the committee? It's very concerning. After now, my parent cannot address that. She is running her own show. She has stayed to be dictatorial in the eyes of faculty. As I speak to you now, the university faculties, they are operating in panic because they fear that my parent will wake up one morning and dismiss anyone to wish.
Reaction never tendency. Reaction never tendency. Reaction never tendency. Corona Mapaya. Media Mapaya. Say yo. She has an unscrupulous element. Say yo.
Mapaya believes in integrity, upholding the sacred integrity and transparency of the University of Liberia. We maintain and demand her to publish reports that inform our decision. The full report. How did we get to know that the report recommended 3 months of suspension of Aaron Sengbe? Based on offer demand, recently offer demanded the same report, and she wrote her own summary of the report. In fact, mentioning the aspect of the recommendation of the report to suspend Aaron Sengbe for 3 months. But yet, contrary to that, April should suspend Aaron Sengbe for 8 months. Is it not contradiction?
Viva!
That is why we are demanding the full report.
For transparency, public viva! Viva!
That is why we are demanding the full report. And Mapaya must do the needful. Because if you are sharing the report, then we understand the motive behind that. The Vanguard Communication Party, very clear. If Mapaya cannot publish the full report, she should not exist as president of the University of Liberia. We are clear about that. We are reaching a point where Mapaya will have to address the issue and start acting dictatorial. Fast forward. The issue of few months ago, 2 months ago, Mapaya suspended the vice president of fiscal affairs of the University of Liberia, Mr. Acid Gamet. And then we asked her, we were concerned because we all want a transparent university. When we wrote the president to ask her, why is it you are dismissing? Can you give up update? The president arrogantly responded by saying she's the president of the University of Liberia. She has the right to dismiss anyone. And fortunately for us, we read a dismissal letter. There is nothing in the dismissal letter that points at corruption. We are not justifying anything, but we want people to be dismissed based on fair counts and objectivity, not based on personal feelings and targeting certain individuals. That is why the Vanguard Communication Party has been fighting for everyone, including staff, students, and the masses of the Liberian people. If anyone is dismissed unjustly, we have to intervene and understand what is the rationale. And then we realize that Mapaya dismissed the fiscal affairs in Mr. Garnett because he opposed a decision to illegally employ people from UC that she once worked with. That's clear evidence. And we have documented facts. If I will get fact or a summary of a report of the Dorkopo saga, and we get fact to a dismissal of Garnett, Mr. Garnett. This is an affront to transparency. If the president believes in integrity and transparency, she should follow the Labor Law Act. You cannot dismiss someone without giving them due process. You cannot dismiss someone without giving them warning letters. Especially something that is not even linked to any corruption act. We believe Mapaya is running her own show and she is being arrogant. But the Federal State Education Party is clear that if Mapaya cannot justify the dismissal of the fiscal affairs of the University of Liberia, it is struggling for everyone, including staff. If anyone is targeted, we will investigate and ensure. But we want to make this clear. The person that was replaced, and there's a key information, but that replaced Mr. Ghana in the midst of growing contradiction where faculties are not being paid for 7 months. Mr. Lester Tenney, who was quickly appointed after the illegal dismissal of Mr. Ghana, he was quickly appointed, and immediately he was appointed in the first week. Mr. Lester Tenney has paid himself retroactive salary for 2023, 2 years. Can you imagine? We have documented facts. The president has a signature for this. There's a check that the president signed for Mr. Lester Tenney. And we have the report. There are a lot of pieces of evidence. It has exposed the bankruptcy of the president of the University of Liberia. Many people who thought Mapaya is an integrated figure, they are disappointed because of proceeding. She are along with criminals. She are along with arrogant bigots to read the University of Liberia. Don't be surprised in the coming week or month. You see chaotic scene on the campus of the University of Liberia.
Yes, sir. Rescue the University of the rescue, yo.
C'est quoi, the chaotic will be right to our office, c'est quoi. Oh, now we have to know about that, only my plan, yo. She has reached what to lose, yo. Ne serait pas important, je déclare après le bataille, yo.
Her appointment of Mr. Lester Tenney is a choppy situation on the campus of the University of Liberia. If you don't know today, Lester Tenney is the main issue or one of the issues on the campuses of the University of Liberia. After failing the students, if you read the 100-day deliverables of Madame Mapaya, you realize that everything she said has been contradicted. She has become more political. She has started targeting people, dismissing people illegally, and now focusing on the objective condition that affecting the students. Madame Mapaya has started securing resources for herself. For the fact that you can pay Lester Tenney retroactive salary and leaving those struggling people who have been serving and sacrificing for the University of Liberia. It exposes the corrupt nature of Madame Lady Mapaya. We were shocked when we got informed that Lester Tenney has received 2 years retroactive salary. Without any documentation of tax, without any documentation, as we are told, he has received more than 14,000 United States dollars as a retroactive salary, attested by the president of the University of Liberia. And this president,
Yo, yeah, America, you can pay tax, yo. She's stealing from the university, yo.
There's a contradiction. And sooner possible time will be clear. Mapaya should either choose to address the issue on campus or leave the University of Liberia. Mapaya cannot initiate anything. She has just been political, searching for money, traveling. There is a serious disappointment to the students. The founder party welcomed her on the basis that she would address the issue for different civilizations. She understands the policy of due process. But Mapaya seems to be used by political figures and selfish figures to champion their political interests. Fast forward, commerce and progressive journalists. We deal with the issue of fundraising as part of 100-day deliverables. There is not single any fundraising. Mapaya has made more than 5 different international travels at the expense of the University of Liberia without any outcome. Mapaya has taken more from the university as opposed to contributing to the university. There's a glaring fact. Mapaya received a non-taxable salary of $7,300 from the University of Liberia and a taxable salary of 7,700 from the government of Liberia. In total, 15,000 Mapaya received.
Yo, even minister are not making that money. Yo. My parents is the first person in the history of the University of Liberia to make 15,000. Yo.
We are taking
100 days promise has failed the university. Yo.
In the 2019 Standardization and Harmonization Act, no minister in this country made more than 8,000 United States dollars. But Mapaya, after staying for 7 months, is making 15,000. Calculate 15,000 7 months. While any account, but political science in the university targeting people and increasing her work, and landing with a corrupt lesser thing.
Actual salary for president at 7,200. My parents using the university. Yo.
The impression Mr. Baka to appoint Mapaya is clear, so that she can generate funds for the University of Liberia. Because the University of Liberia has not been funded fully by the government. And Mapaya has taken more. Mapaya has traveled more out of this country seeking so-called funds. She is relying on her quote-unquote achievement. According to her, that was why she impressed Mr. Baka on. She impressed Mr. Baka by saying that the university, when she was working in UCL, she was able to generate 5 million as grant, so she can contribute to the university. Mapaya has made more than 5 international travels. As we speak to you, in the soonest possible time, Mapaya will be leaving the country for another so-called engagement to raise funds for the university.
Down, lady Mapaya, down. Yo.
Nothing of such.
She has some book of contract when you money particular for the 7,000. Yo.
Mapaya is increasing her wealth. If you don't know, Mapaya has disappointed the Vanguard Unification Party. Mapaya has disappointed the students. It disappointed the mass of the Liberian people.
Yes, sir. Mapaya.
These things we are saying,
we come for you soon.
These things we are saying, these are documented facts. We have not come here to run propaganda. We have come here as a historical responsibility. If you don't know SUP has had no interest in individual. Our only interest has been the interest of the people and the students. And that is why we are telling you that Mapaya is not fit to be president of the University of Liberia. Mapaya does not have the capability, responsibility to manage the affairs of the University of Liberia. She has been misled, and she has been part and parcel of the corrupt nature of the University of Liberia. It will interest you to know Mapaya had the courage to quote-unquote generate funds for a women group in West Point, about 10,000 United States dollars. But she cannot generate even $100 US for the University of Liberia. Isn't that a contradiction? When you impress Mr. Baka, you're going to ensure that you bring funds to the university. The university is dilapidated. Faculties are threatening to go on strike. And Mapaya is basically targeting people and dismissing people and being used by a political bigot in one corrupt lesser thing. For the Vanguard Unification Party, it's very clear that this position must be addressed immediately and effectively. Because in the coming days, in the coming weeks, anytime, by the mandate of the chairman of the Student Unification Party, there will be unspecified revolutionary action.
Rather the masses of the students.
As we conclude, we have all of our documented facts we want to share with the media. The report, the summary report of Mapaya on the So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, that was the press briefing from the Secretary General of the Student Unification Party. Like the SG have said, we'll be taking
a minimum of 3 questions on progressive revolutionary institution. So we'll start with call your name and the media outlets you are reporting from. So Comrade, you go.
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Mopolu and I report for Inside Liberia. We listened to the statement from the Student Unification Party.
So,
but the issue is, SUP is noted for advocating for educational issues that confirming the ordinary citizen. But today your advocacy will observe that you are emphasizing on citizens or maybe employees of the university. Now this is the speculation that you SUP, those people who was dismissed are now using you to advocate for them in order to be restated so that you can benefit. What do you think?
Well, I think such statement prove that you are not been following the procedure of the Student Unification Party.
so,
We are telling you an institution that existed for 54 years, championing the cause of the students, the faculty, and the mass of the Liberian people. Whatever affects any individual is being marginalized, any individual that is being deprived his or her right, the Vanguard Student Unification Party is always in a position to erect the necessary checkpoint and ensure that people can be fairly judged. And then to say that SUP is being you, it means you as a journalist have not followed the procedure of the party, and we are disappointed. And I believe that there is a need to understand what SUP stands for. And more questions?
Social justice, I got number freedom and peace. Yo.
So I'm Rivara Simpan, report for DNS Liberia. Every time when there's a press conference being held by the Student Unification Party, most often you will hear there will be unspecified revolutionary actions. People watching, they are saying they are tired of hearing unspecified revolutionary actions. Following, if the president refuses to adhere to all the counts, what is that unspecified revolutionary actions do we expect to see? The SUP that we know back then on the former president former president Eli Joseph Sirleaf, the actions that we saw for them, what actions do we expect to see from the SUP? Are we tired of the unspecified revolutionary actions? Every time unspecified. So what actions do we expect?
Your contest of unspecified revolutionary action, I think, has been misconstrued. Because you say you've been following the party and you know how the party can react. For the fact that you know how the party can react, you're already aware of the unspecified revolutionary action. Why is the next question? No, you already asked. So, if no follow questions, then we call this press statement and turn back to the Secretary of the party.
This is the
Manda.
We are here at the
So, as
University
conclusion, we
campus.
conclude.
I've come
I
to
want to
here.
be clear that the position read,
We say thank you for
session by the
following me.
30th Political Central Committee of the Vanguard Student Unification Party, particularly the most powerful men on the campus of the University of Liberia. And going forward, the party will be engaging series of media outlets, and there will be a specified revolutionary action. Manda! Manda!
So that's how we follow other